then I said, McClunky.
What does that mean?
I don't know. So anyway, that was the dumbest opening we've ever done. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is Shelf Life, a podcast where brother and sister team go through all things pop culture, no matter the genre, and no matter the medium, to determine whether or not the subject at hand belongs
On your shelf.
Yeah, that's right. Today, we continue here in Volume 5 discussing one of the subjects that we have been diving into. We're getting close. We're getting close to the end of the series to be able to tell you the rankings and whether or not it has shelf life. But right now, we are in the middle of it. Rachel, what is up for discussion today?
We will be talking about episodes 10 and 11 of Doctor Who, Series 1.
Yes. Entitled
The Doctor Dances and Boomtown.
Boomtown! Yeah, I don't. It's whatever. Yeah, so if previously.
It does make it sound like it should be a Western, honestly.
Kind of does. Yeah. Now that you've mentioned it. Now
we have to
I
discuss
kind of
the
want
titles
that.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is
You'll get a Western at some point.
I guarantee it. How could you not?
Well,
There's hundreds of these.
I know
damn
you
things.
do. I just know you do.
Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. So, anyway.
I don't know why they got me.
That really got Rachel. That really got her.
So, you kept saying it.
This is a previously on Shelf Life sort of episode, because if you were with us in a previous episode of Doctor Who, we left off with The Empty Child. That is a cliffhanger episode of Doctor Who. So now we are on the next one here, which is The Doctor Dances, which wraps everything up in a neat little package then, with the end or the second half of that particular story. So Rachel, please let us know where are we? What happened? Where are we at here as we dive into The Doctor Dances?
The Doctor and Rose have landed smack dab in the middle of London during the London Blitz, which is happening in World War II.
For those that are uninformed.
Well, you never know.
You don't know. People could be listening to us 100 years from now, and they're like, the fuck is that? What is World War II? I don't know.
It's my favorite war.
That's true. We are in the middle of Shelf Life's favorite war, World War II. We have to remind people of that.
You gotta know these things.
Yeah. The podcast has a favorite war, and it's World War II.
So they're in London. It's World War II. Rose meets Captain Jack Harkness.
Sparrow.
Not Sparrow.
Oh, sorry.
And the Doctor runs into a girl who's running away from a child that has what seems to be a gas mask for a mace,
or a
gas
face.
mask for a face, asking for his mother. And right now,
are you my mummy?
Exactly.
Is a refrain that I've heard a million times now.
Mummy, mummy,
yeah.
Are you my mummy?
Yeah.
And right now, they're all trapped in the hospital with other patients asking for their mummy.
Yes, so they've been surrounded because this is an epidemic. Apparently, a ton of the people all keep getting these gas mask faces in this area, so it's like spreading via touch. I think if the kid touches you.
If the kid touches you, it starts to spread.
Yeah. And that's where we are at. This episode is entitled The Doctor Dances. It debuted on May 28th, 2005. It is the second part of this, of course, written by Stephen Moffat, directed by James Howes. You get this continuation. Nothing really to necessarily report on from like some of the behind the scenes stuff necessarily. We can get right into it here, Rachel, with The Doctor Dances. What do you say?
I think we can do that.
Okay, so we start exactly where we left off with the empty child. Our heroes are trapped by the sleeping people, or the zombie-esque gas mask people, which is an interesting design. I'm pretty sure I said that in the last recording, too. Like, it's creepy, but it's creepy in that Doctor Who way, where it's like only a kid would probably find it scary, but it would stick with you if you watched it as a kid, which is what I want from something to be scary. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
Like it should form a feeling in you. to be scary.
Yes, exactly.
They're backed into a corner, and after like the previously on, it kind of starts with them backed into the corner, and the doctor tries something. So he just yells at them as they
To
say
go
mummy
to
a
their
bench, and he
room.
tells them to go to your room.
Go to your room. I mean it. I'm very, very angry with you. I'm very, very cross. Go to your room.
I
I'm
am very
very angry with.
cross.
Oh, does he say cross?
Yeah, he says I'm very angry. I'm very cross.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if he said cross, but having watched Paddington, check the back catalog, I was like, he should be saying cross because that's just proper. That's just proper
It
British
is
term.
proper.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but when he's yelling at all of these creatures, the boy stops and tilts his head like a dog, and then eventually backs down because the boy was going to attack Nancy, the girl,
Hmm.
that is his sister, and then they all go back to their beds and just lay back in their
Right.
beds.
It becomes like a hive mind almost.
Yeah, he's controlling them all, I think is how it's
Yes.
working. The doctor says how he's glad that worked because if it wouldn't have, those would have been terrible final words. And
Honestly, you're right.
he gives them that Doctor Who Bugs Bunny smile, and that takes us to the credits. Yes, Rachel is exhibiting it, which is it is a ear to ear grin, and the ears on
He does have a
Christopher
big mouth
Eccleston
for it.
are big
Yes.
ears, so it's a big ass grin too.
I love it.
Nancy cries after this confrontation with Jamie because she's lost him, and she just thinks like he's
I'm a little monster.
little
He's like a
monster
monster now.
zombie, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Captain Harkness thinks it isn't a mask; it's flesh and bone. So Captain Jack's got like machinery. Uh,
He's examining
yeah, he's
the
doing some
faces.
examining, and he's like, "This isn't like a mask. This is like part of their face now," which is very
Yeah, it's like
odd.
fused.
Yeah,
It's just like a part of them.
yeah.
It's weird.
So here's the thing: Captain Jack is talking about like how this was supposed to be like a con for him, and I was like, this con doesn't make a ton of sense. But I guess it's because he does it in these apocalyptic scenarios. So he like talks about how he does it. Does the cons here. He tried to do it in Pompeii, but he has to get like the day right and those kind of things. I guess his idea is that is bringing like space junk. He's telling
Yes.
people like if you can find a time agent, he's telling them like, yeah, it's
It's something fancy.
valuable.
It's something special.
Yeah. And then when they come to get the money, before they can realize that it's like junk, they have to get out of there anyway because like the place is
Because
gonna
of
blow up.
there's a special event that happens
Yeah,
that's going to just destroy the special space junk that
right.
he has.
So like he gets away scot free and he like vanishes and then they like, can't really chase him down to call him out on it or whatever. So like that's his con.
Right.
Guess it kind of works. This idea of like hiding in apocalyptic scenarios, Rachel, I know you haven't watched it yet, but like this also takes place in Loki. So that's
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
He brought a burnt out medical transporter. They're thinking maybe brought this thing, or at least that's
Right.
what the doctor says. And Jack is like says he has nothing to do with it. There was nothing in it. It was empty. He made sure it was empty, so it could not have been something that was in this medical transporter thing. He's like, it's just
Hmm.
this. That's all it is. And like him and the doctor both know what it is, so they're like, if you know that there's nothing in there. And because he said like, oh, you could always go to Pompeii, but you have to make sure it's not Volcano Day, and he like laughed. The doctor's like, well, it's Volcano Day, and I guess he's trying to say like it's part of the Blitz where like this area is going to be bombed. So,
I think it's going to be bombed. Right. Well, that is part of it. He goes, right now, this is Volcano Day, but it's also like you're destroying London. This is
oh
going to destroy
yeah,
everything
you're
too.
right. I guess
You're
that
causing
is
it to
yeah.
happen.
That's probably more the way that you're supposed to interpret it. Captain Jack is causing Volcano Day.
But you're right. It is also the same day that the bomb is supposed to fall on
Right,
the space junk.
right.
So,
So Nancy, we go back to Nancy, and this kid comes, this little blonde kid comes with the gas mask on, and it's just a kid. So like
you're
Nancy's
right.
like, you little shit, and like takes it off and is like, I thought you were Jamie, and it's just some other like kid with them. So
Right.
if I would have slapped
Well, it's
this
the
kid.
child that lives there.
It is the child that lives there, is what you find
Yeah.
out. But why does she act like? she knows this kid because she's like, I thought she would Jamie.
Oh, I don't think she is. I don't think she is. I think she's literally just going, oh my god, I thought you were Jamie. I
Okay.
thought you were my little brother that was going to, like, kill me.
I thought it was one of her
I think
little.
she's, like,
I thought it was one of.
chastising him.
No, I thought it was one of her little like orphan ragtag children. That's
I
like.
think he probably would have had a snarky comment back to her.
I
He
don't
didn't say a
know.
word.
She should have slapped that kid regardless, because you're under pressure. You're under some stress. Slap that kid. Who's gonna know? His
It'll
fat.
help.
These Dursley
Oh, you know
prototypes.
his dad already does. Like, that dad looks
Oh,
like
that
he
dad
beats
beats
his
him.
kid.
Oh, absolutely. So before
Yeah,
Nancy,
he is a Dursley.
before
That
they
is a
force them
Dursley
in,
dude.
these Dursleys from the 40s, these
Which
proto,
sounds like probably just the Dursley.
which is just the Dursleys, these proto Dursleys. How come those haven't been in the Fantastic Beasts movies? Where are the Dursleys? Hashtag, where are the Dursleys? You don't want to see them, Rachel? You don't want to know what
Nobody
they're up
wants
to?
them. Nobody wants them. Honestly, though, they must have some family member that has, like, magical powers, right? Because
Yeah, what? No, on
not Dursleys. That's on her side, isn't
Petunia's
it?
side,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're right.
Vernon's side is just a bunch of fat fuck slobs.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I just want to see. I want one of these movies to have Vernon, like Dursleys. I mean, this would be fine if they're
They've
just
got to be,
hoarding
like,
food.
higher in, like, Parliament or something.
Yeah,
And,
and
like,
they're like they're trying to say like we need to make
the
peace with
scummiest
Hitler or
people.
something. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what I want.
Oof. That's a big oof.
So anyway, these proto Dursleys grab Nancy and they bring her back into their house. Meanwhile, Jack and Rose and the doctor are all running around trying to like find a way out of the asylum, the hospital,
It's a
whatever you
hospital.
would call it. Yeah, I guess it is a hospital. Jack blasts the door open with this. I can't remember what he calls it, Rachel. It's a sonic something. It's some sort of sonic gun. It's like a square gun or a cube gun. I can't remember what they call it.
A sonic blaster.
There you go. Sonic
51st century.
Blaster. Yes.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
he says that he got it at some munitions factory, and Doctor's like, I know that. I've been there once. Jack is like,
There's
yeah.
a banana grove now.
Yeah, Jack says it's not there anymore, like somebody like burned it down or something like that. And Doctor's like, yeah, I know, I told you I've been there once. It's a banana grove now. So he's implying that he destroyed
I
the
like
munitions.
bananas.
Yeah, I like bananas.
Bananas are
Bananas are good. He's so fucking
Cup is bad.
cartoonish. Yeah. Bananas are good.
That is like a famous line of his.
That he says bananas are good.
Yeah. I'm
All
not
right.
even joking.
I'm sure you're not, because
Him
he's
saying that,
he's
I
a
feel like it's
fucking
one of the
Looney
famous lines,
Tune.
and I think it's because it's in this episode. But yeah,
Oh, really?
these are popular episodes.
Yeah, we'll get into that at the end of this. I might make some people angry at
That's
the end
fine.
of this.
Go for it.
It's implied that he turned the munitions factory into a banana grove because he likes bananas.
Bananas are good.
So they go into this like office, and Doctor says that something powerful and angry got out of there, out of the containment thing or the medical transporter or whatever. There's a bunch of pictures on the walls and drawings. So I think what you're supposed to assume is that this is that one doctor's office,
Mm-hmm.
and the kid was in the office and was making drawings and stuff, or is it just that it's creepy and like this was like a
No, I
kid's
think the
therapist
child.
room
Yeah,
and it's
the
just
child was left in this room.
okay.
I think because it looks more like a communication. So they like had him in this room as like an isolation,
Okay.
and they were communicating like with all that equipment in front of the mirror or like the window that goes into that room. So I think that they were like communicating and trying to like speak to him because he's like not talking back. You can't take the mask off, like all of that kind of stuff. They're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So I think they were leaving him in here, and I do think that he probably was the one drawing all of those things.
Okay.
Otherwise, maybe it is other children,
Well,
but
it's
then
just
that gets creepier.
yeah. I was thinking that the drawings and stuff are other kids because the empty child only
could
has like
be.
one track of trying to find the mom.
But maybe that's why it's all women, because it's all like female stick figures
Okay.
with a skirt and long hair.
All right.
Skirt and long hair over and over again.
That's also all right. That's possible because there's also recordings that they say. So they play these recordings,
Mm-hmm.
and they're these creepy recordings of the doctor, not the doctor, but the other doctor,
Right.
the real doctor,
The medical doctor.
The medical doctor. Old doctor. He is talking to Jamie,
the child.
right.
Right.
And he's asking him questions, and the only thing he's getting back is, "Are you my mummy?" Like a million times, like
Mummy.
usual. Yeah.
Mummy.
That's effective. I thought that was nice and creepy. Those
Yes.
recordings, they sounded good. Meanwhile, Nancy is being questioned by Ogre Patton Oswalt, and is does. Like if Patton Oswalt looks like if Patton Oswalt and Shrek had a baby. That's what
Yeah,
this
you're
guy
right.
would look like.
You're kind of right. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. But yes, that is what you look like.
I was like, who is she apologizing to? Patton Oswalt, this actor, or Shrek?
Not Shrek.
He looked like Shrek.
He looked like Shrek. Are we gonna have that in, like, every episode of this season where one of us says he looked like Shrek?
I don't know, Rachel. We'll find out. Keep listening, listeners.
Listeners? Listeners?
He's like, you're taking my food and you're doing this and that, and I'm going to call the police and blah, blah, blah. Would she like to help herself to anything else? And she's like, I'd like to get some barbed wire and a torch if I could. And he like stares at her because she says it so like confidently of like, you're going to give me some barbed wire and you're going to give me a torch. And he's like flabbergasted by this. And she says that she's been watching the house for ages and she wants to look at the cupboards because she knows that there's like this food and that food and like the rations that they're getting. Clearly, they're getting more than what they're supposed to be getting.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to call the police because she's just going to tell them that they've got all this food, and then he'll get in trouble.
She's going to tell that he's also messing with the butcher, not his wife. He's the one messing with the butcher and getting more food. He's having an affair.
Oh, do you think so? Is that what was
line?
that implied?
Yes,
I did
it's
not.
Implied that he's having an affair with the butcher.
I did not get
and
that
getting
at
them
all.
More food.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
one of the lines.
So he's sucking and fucking for meat.
Oh, good lord!
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, little sucker. Give it a little tickle and I'll give you a steak.
Tickle the pickle and I'll give you a steak.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Okay,
so...
There's a lot of that going on in this episode then, because Captain Jack's talking about it later on.
Oh, yeah, he talks about it constantly.
He sucks and fucks.
He's a horn dog.
Yeah.
He's a horn dog.
He fucks anything.
But
it's a regular
says,
Captain Kirk.
He is worse than Captain Kirk. He is the worst captain of them all. Like, he is, the biggest flirt. Anyways, she says half this street thinks your missus must be messing with the Mr. Haversack the butcher. But she's not, is she? You are. And then she is, I want the wire cutters, I want the food, and I want the torch.
I'd ask for more if I knew that he was sleeping around in 1941 with the butcher to get more food. Okay. So let me make sure. Say that sentence again. Just say it one more time for me.
Okay. She says. It's an awful lot of food, right? Then she says, half this street thinks your missus must be messing with Mr. Haversack the butcher. But she's not, is she? You are.
Okay.
Wire cutters, torch, food.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that.
I'm surprised you missed that.
I don't know how I missed
great
that.
Line.
All right. Well, there you go.
Tickle in the pickle for the meat.
Tickle and pickle for steaks and beans, aren't you, you little shit? You got ogre Patton Oswalt looking bastard. So that happens. That gets Tubby to shut up, is what happens. And I thought all that was happening was she was saying he was using the black market. No. Much more. Alright. We go back to the doctor, and he says that there's something... You gotta do what you can. It's the middle of war. Your island is surrounded.
You do what you have to.
You do what you have to. You do what you have to survive. That man's plight is quite large, Rachel. I want an episode just about this man. This terrible situation that he is befouled in.
You don't think he wants to do that?
Well, I don't think it... No, I don't. You know why? Because I think he offered his wife up to the butcher. like a
Oh, you think he
scumbag.
offered the wife
And
like
then
a scumbag?
the butcher was like,
Wow.
I don't know, I get quite
What is he like?
lonely
Is he
here.
messing with his belly button?
Yeah,
Like,
he's fingering his belly button like in dodgeball. And he's like, I'll tell you what, if you wash my truck, we'll talk.
ooh,
So then he has to,
fiddle,
dance with the
do
butcher.
a little ditty.
So I don't think he wants to do it. He's not a nice man because he was going to offer
No,
his
he's
wife
not a
up.
nice man.
But that's some interesting stuff going
Interesting
on.
theory.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's some shit going on here, and that happened constantly. I guarantee it.
Oh, probably.
Guaranteed. The flesh trade was alive and well in London in 1941 or whatever year this is. What the hell are we? So the doctor says there's something in the walls. He's putting together what happened here to Jamie. So he's saying that this is his hypothesis. These kids come out during the air raids looking for food because they're brave enough, because if you get bombed if you're an orphan, what do you care? So
Right.
you're a scavenger.
You have
Like,
nowhere to go anyways.
yeah, like what's the fucking difference if I'm dead or if I have, food? They're looking for food during the air raids because that's when everyone goes to their shelters. Something happened. One of them got infected or altered. So now there's this mutated or whatever happened to him, infected kid who's walking around. He's afraid and he's powerful. He has the power of a god, and he just sent it to its room. So now it's gonna be even more like, how dare you? I guess he's afraid that he made it
Well,
angry.
I think he just thinks it's funny that he sent a god to its room.
That's
But
also
then
true.
he realized, oh, this is its room.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what
he
it
realizes
is.
that this is the room. So I guess that confirms that this is supposed to be where the kid
It was probably
here.
taken
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he thinks that this is the room. So now he knows that the kid is coming back here, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, the tape is over." Because you hear the of
Yes.
the recording.
And you can still hear going, Mummy,
Yeah.
I'm here. Can't you see me?
But
Mummy.
but that stops.
Exactly.
Stops, and you still hear him saying "Mummy." So he's like, "Well, the tape ended, but you still hear him," which is, again, it's effective because it's
That's
that.
great.
So yeah, he sent it to its room, but this is its room, and they turn around and there's the boy. So he somehow got in the room.
Well,
Does
yeah,
he
he
have?
just walked into the door.
But the door was locked. They didn't lock the door.
Did they lock the door?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I'm just like, there is a door to the room, so they're in the back part where the isolation was.
Jack says to get out, and he pulls out his gun, but the doctor has changed the gun to a banana.
That's right.
So does that mean that the doctor
he
just
pickpocketed him?
So are you now the doctor
This
as
goes
a
back
character?
to my thoughts with our fantasy draft, where the doctor is going to want to make sure confiscated materials get back to him, because he's like, you shouldn't have this.
see the back catalog for the fantasy draft. All right. So I'm to believe
He pickpocketed him. He stole it from him.
that the doctor now, I know, walks around with a banana in his pocket at all times.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, just in
He
case he
probably
needs
has
a
some
shot
sort
of
of fruit in
potassium.
his pocket. Yeah, why not?
I'm just asking.
You never know when you get hungry.
He
You
says
need something.
he in fact says, "Don't drop it. It's a good source of potassium."
There you go. I want that back.
I wrote down that there's a terrible sound effect, and then the boys six the other zombies after them, and they end up getting surrounded. Rachel, I don't remember what the terrible sound effect was. If you may indulge yourself, you might hear it. When he goes to shoot the gun and the bananas there, and then Jamie sends the zombies after them, it's somewhere in that area.
Oh! I know what it is.
Okay.
It's like the child is punching through the wall.
Yes.
So it's that really generic sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, Rachel will put it in just for you to be able to hear it, because it's stock sound.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah,
All
that terrible sound effect. Because it's just this stock punch you'd hear in a 1980s kung fu movie or something.
Yeah, that or in a video game.
Yeah, or a video game.
Yeah.
Why did they use that?
I don't know. It is a little odd. It is. That one's bad.
Something we would use.
It's something we would use.
The doctor doesn't want to tell about the sonic screwdriver. And at first, I thought he didn't want to tell about the sonic screwdriver because he didn't trust Captain Jack. Captain Jack's like talking about like, oh yeah, I have Sonic this and that and the other, like you don't know
Yeah,
about
like
that
he
kind of
has
stuff.
like big old like guns and weaponry and all of this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, I have a screwdriver.
But he doesn't at first.
That's how he says it.
At
Right.
first, he's like, because Jack's like, don't you have like Sonic stuff? What's her name? Rose is like, well, yeah, he has a Sonic, and like Doctor like tells her like, ah, da, 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 da. And I thought that was because he didn't trust Jack yet. But then later on, he just goes like, "It's a screwdriver, okay? I have a Sonic
Right.
screwdriver." So like,
Exactly.
it's not because he didn't trust him; it's because he's embarrassed because he just has this like little screwdriver.
Right. I think it is. I think it's definitely the embarrassed by it because he's not a fighter. He's a fixer. He's a doctor. Right? That's like the whole thing. So why would he have something that's going to like kill somebody that's Sonic?
He's a fixer, folks. He's a doctor. There has to be a Doctor Who shirt that says "Trust me, I'm a doctor," right? Like that's got to be a thing.
Oh, I bet.
With a little picture of the screwdriver instead of a scalpel.
And the TARDIS.
So I think he's a bit embarrassed because Jack is so like self-assured, and yeah, Doctor's like, well, all I have is the screwdriver.
And Rose was making fun of him before, right? With like the proper
Rose did make fun of him, yeah.
Ship and stuff like that. Like you don't even have like proper all of these things. You can't like beam me up, Scotty, and all of that kind of stuff. And
you float around in a police
Jack
box.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jack's hot too.
And Jack's hot.
And very sexually promiscuous, so you know he's got that going for him.
Promiscuous.
The battery, however, on the sonic gun isn't working because it's drained. And the factory's gone, so he can't get a replacement battery, so he has to wait for it to recharge. And the factory's gone because a banana is there instead, so there you go. Doctor asks Rose, where'd you pick this one up? Jack says, well, she was hanging from a dirigible. I can't remember which word he uses. It's a warship. And
no, I think it's a dirigible, right?
It's a dirigible. He does say what it is. I can't remember what he says, though.
Barrage balloon.
A barrage balloon. Or as I like to call them, dirigibles. It's a dirigible. It's
a funny word.
It is a funny word. I wish we still had dirigibles. It'd be fun to float around in a big balloon.
They're not really that safe, though.
No, they're horribly unsafe. But we could use a better gas than hydrogen, Rachel. I think.
True. No, you're right.
I think
they just have to look like a dirigible.
Yeah, I just want a big balloon to fly in.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, Jack says that she was hanging by this. What'd you call it?
Barrage balloon.
Barrage balloon. And he never stood a chance. And of course, Rose smirked at this. She does one of her patented. Rachel and I are both making faces at each other, but it's biting your tongue with your giant lips that Rose has. So yeah, then Jack disappears.
Yes, he just
teleports himself out like a dick.
Yes. Honestly, I think they're all thinking it. We're all thinking it.
You're all thinking it. We then cut to a scene with Nancy. A lot of these kids are at some shack somewhere, and she brings them all the food that she confiscated from the Dursleys. And one of the kids has a typewriter, so he's just typing right out of this typewriter. And Nancy's asking the kid.
He's pretending that he can write.
He's pretending that he can write. Rachel did this as a little kid. She loved typing on her grandma's typewriter.
I loved that typewriter.
Yeah,
it was great.
Typewriters are fun. They're fun to play with.
They are. That's why I like my mechanical keyboard. It has that same feel.
Because it makes the noise. Because you like to have that noise when you type.
Yeah, that
makes it feel like you're accomplishing something.
It does.
Simpler times.
Important.
Yeah.
But so he's just tapping away.
He's tapping away. With there's no like
his
ink
dad
or
a
anything.
letter.
Is there ink or anything? I don't think there is.
Yeah, there's
even.
ink and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know how to write, right? Like that's the
he can't spell, he can't write. Yeah.
So he's like fantastically writing this dad a letter. He's not actually gonna. He's thinking in his head what he would write his dad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy is asking the kids, or telling the kids what they would do if she didn't come back. Like, you're supposed to go here. You remember to do this. all of
Right.
this stuff because she is planning to go on what she thinks is a suicide mission, and she wants the kids to be safe, so she's telling them what they need to do.
Yeah. She takes care of them, so she wants to make sure that they're going to be okay.
They all seem a bit depressed about it because I think they know that she's planning to do something.
Yeah, you can tell that they're like, well, why would we want to think about you not being here?
She's got the wire cutters, and she emphasizes that they need to look out and after each other. So she says that she's going to the bomb site, and she explains to them that, like, okay, well, Jamie keeps coming and he keeps, like, haunting us, but he's not after any of you. He's after me.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I need to get away from you guys so that you can survive.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to deal with this on my own, which is a noble thing, and it's kind
Of
of true
course.
as well. Like,
Right.
Jamie is after her, so get these kids out of harm's way is what she's
Exactly.
thinking. And then as they had this fight about the typewriter, and like that conversation is over, the one kid that was typewriting, Jim, is sitting there, and they're like,
Yeah, he like moved away from the typewriter.
yeah, and they're like, the typewriter's still going, and it's still typing. And the typewriter goes by itself. And I thought, and I was like, it's going to say, "Are you my mummy?" It's going to be a
Oh,
Shining
of
moment where it's
course.
just going to say, "My mummy, mummy, are you my mummy?" like over and over again.
Right.
She looks at it and says, like, he's always coming. And she tells them to chew your food, and she, like, leaves.
Yep.
Do we ever get to see it say
Yes.
it says it? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
he picks it up. The older kid picks it up and looks at it and says, "Mummy, mummy, are you my mummy?"
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So like if you were a little kid when you
That's
saw this
horrifying.
and you didn't see The Shining yet, that would be powerful. That'd be a powerful moment. I'd give
I
them
think
that
so.
on that. But it
It's
is just
creepy.
it's a Shining ripoff, but
I suppose, but at the same time, it's still like a good moment.
question about this
Because
though.
he's not, but the thing is, it's not a shining moment because a ghost isn't writing it. This being is having the typewriter type itself. He typed the typewriter and left it there for her to find in The
So
Shining.
yes, agreed. Okay, but same
Yeah.
idea. So,
But it's similar.
similar idea of just nonsense on
Yes.
the typewriter, I think.
Yeah.
Question about this though.
Okay.
Because I can't remember if it's in this episode or the prior episode where the doctor establishes that this being can go in and out of technological machinery.
First one.
A
Because it
type
actually used the phone box, the
right.
TARDIS,
It
as
could
a
use the
phone
phone
box.
box, yeah, and it went into the radio
And
and
yes,
the
and then the
cassette
phone at
player
the
and
other
all that stuff.
house.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a typewriter, while a machine
Alien
is not
technology.
electronic.
Wibbly wobbly. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Maybe it's more of pressure and something who added like blah blah blah. It's a little it's pushing it, but it's machinery.
A machine.
It's a machine.
It's a simple machine.
Yeah, and he can move the things in the simple machine. So
Yeah.
there.
All right. Okay.
I guess when we find out what is doing it, you can think of it that way.
Yes, because it's more alien than anything. It's just
Well,
one of those things where
it's those little bots. Like they probably are in the machine
yeah, yeah.
making it work
So
because
it's
they're
just
trying to understand stuff.
it's a little more alien than like, or a little more pushed than what they were going for. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're pushing the boundary with that one being allowed.
Sure.
Back in the hospital, Rose says, "Why do all the great-looking ones do that?" Meaning like vanish on her, I guess is what she's
Oh,
saying.
sure.
And the doctor, of course, looks at her cross because he's like, "What do you mean the good-looking ones?"
I'm trying not to be insulted and all that.
Yeah, and she's like, "I mean men." So she's trying not to hurt his feelings. And doctor says, "Thanks, that helped." It didn't really help, but Jack is on the ship. He teleported back to his ship. They're surrounded, right, by all of these zombies again.
I
And
think they're just like blocked into a like cupboard or janitorial closet or something.
yeah, but Jack kind of talks to them and says that like he's got an omcom on the ship. He's gonna try to like get them out of there, I think. And the doctor's like, "Oh yeah, the child has an he can omcom too." And this is when he says like he was able to call into the TARDIS, and that should not be a thing.
Right. I can find you.
Yeah, the child like
I can hear you.
yeah, like taunts them. Now, Rachel, this child appears very evil at this point by doing that
At
to
this
them.
point, he does seem like, I'm coming to find you,
Yeah.
Mummy.
Yeah, I'm going to find you, Mummy. We already played with our parents. Now we're gonna play with
us.
you.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
Pet
any
Cemetery
creepy
levels.
children.
Oh,
Yeah.
creepy children are the worst.
Creepy children.
Gangly,
Well,
creepy
I guess
children.
maybe he thinks he's playing hide and seek, and it's like, I'm gonna come find you, Mummy.
Yeah, I think that's the way to look at it. The more like innocent way to look at it, for sure.
I mean, it's a horror. It's like, this is a horror episode, so yes, it's scary.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, the child's a little bit more innocent, and he's like, oh, it's like a game.
Yes,
This is a game.
this is a game. Jack plays Moonlight Serenade while they wait for him to be able to transport them out of there. And Rose goes, "It's our song," because they played it when they were both on the top of Big Ben or whatever.
Right.
Nancy, in the meantime, goes to break into the bomb site, and she breaks into it with the wire cutters. I don't know what she thinks she's going to be able to do, but I guess she's thinking like, okay, something happened to Jamie here. I'm going to figure out how to stop him or how to save him.
This is where it happened.
Yeah.
I think is what she keeps saying. So
Yeah.
she's like, I'm going back to where it happened.
Right.
And I think this is where the doctor wanted to get to too, because this is where that machine is that Jack brought.
Correct. The song is playing as they wait for Jack, and the doctor has an alternative attempt to get out. The doctor is trying some alternative attempts to get out. He's using the sonic screwdriver at the wall and stuff like that. And he asks Rose, "Why do you trust him?" Meaning Jack. And Rose says, "He saved my life. He's like you know, except dating and dancing and teeth grinding and whatnot." The doctor is insulted and says, "You assume I don't dance." He's like, I'm 900 years old. Of course I dance. Or whatever.
Is this a euphemism? Are we just going to say this is a euphemism?
Yes, this is
Dancing.
absolutely you.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
It is and it isn't.
I think it is and it isn't. I think it's obvious that, like, eventually we're like, yes, it actually means dancing, but at the same time,
Yes,
they
they're
keep
also,
using it
they're using
as
it
a
as sex.
euphemism.
Yes.
Yes.
They're using it as snoo, as you put it.
It's snoo.
It's lots of snoo. They're pretty horny in this episode, Rachel.
Lots of woohoo, snoo,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah. Everyone's a little
This is a
little
horny
on
episode.
edge.
It's weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Rose mocks the doctor for not dancing or whatever she happens to be mocking him for. We'll say it's dancing.
Right.
You can see where this is going, right?
Of course.
So she turns up the music and she asks him to dance. Her mouth's doing all the acting in this scene. She's being very Rose Tyler, Billy Piper
Flirty.
flirtatious in this scene.
Yes.
Absolutely. And she says, "Come on, the world isn't going to end because the doctor dances." Which I hope comes back at some point in Doctor Who lore.
That the world ends when he dances.
Yes. That's what I want to happen. Here's what I was hoping for, Rachel,
Gotta
out of
think
this
about
scene. I was thinking about it. I was going to say... That
Do you mean in the actually dancing sense, or do you mean
the
in
actual
the...
dancing sense? Yes.
Okay. Think
Like,
about that one.
like Steve Rogers. Because they actually use that as a euphemism too. I wanted them to dance to Moonlight Serenade like the world was ending.
Yes.
They don't really do that, though. And I think I understand why they don't really do that. And they don't really do that because they want the Doctor to be this 900-year-old alien that's very odd. And the way that Christopher Eccleston plays them is a Looney Tunes character that is very odd. So they're
Sure.
standing there. He's like looking at her hands and stuff and things like that. And he's like talking at the same time. He's not really getting into it. And I think it's to set up the ending, which we'll talk about. But I was hoping it would be more like the world might end. We've been through these adventures together. Like, let's just dance and hope that Jack gets us out of it.
Oh, sure. But I think his brain just always is working too. So like he's thinking and trying to get out of this and then realizing something at the same time. So I think he was probably could have been swayed into doing the dance at the end of the world, but his brain was like, wait a minute.
And
I
I'm just saying
realized something.
I'm just saying that's where I kind of wish it was going. Like, and I get that that's cliched probably. Like somebody's going to be like, that's too cliche. This is better or whatever. That's fine. If you like that more, that's fine. But for me, in my cliched brain, I'm just going like, that would have probably worked for me if they would have done that. But I get it. I get that that's not the Doctor's character or whatever. So,
Well, I
that's
feel
fine.
like it is, though.
To
It
di-
might not be this one, maybe. I guess, like, just in general, I would think it is.
Okay.
I
don't think it's Christopher Eccleston's Doctor.
It might not be Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah. I don't think it's the way that he is the Doctor. Like that, the personality that this Doctor has, necessarily.
Right.
So he tells her that you're setting a new record for jeopardy and peril type stuff. And he thinks it's weird that she doesn't have a bruise from hanging from the barrage balloon. And he says that Jack fixed her. And now they explain the nanogenes. They're able to get on the ship. And they explain that it's these nanobots that repair and fix stuff.
Okay. Who is talking and how are they talking? He's just telling you all of this?
They end up getting teleported onto the ship.
Yes, but see, right before that, she's like, no, we're gonna dance, and she's like, oh, who cares?
Yeah.
I think you're just like have a fixation, and they're like about to dance, and they're very like into their own little like world.
See, I didn't think they
and
were.
that is them, but they were because they didn't even notice they were teleported, and that's Jack's whole point. Like,
yeah,
you guys were having a moment.
Yeah, I suppose so, but like.
They were starting to have that moment.
One of them, they were starting to. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, I guess they were like setting up for it, and I would have been fine if they had the moment there. I don't think they ever have the moment in this episode. And one of them says that didn't look like dancing, and the other one says that didn't look like talking. I think Jack says that didn't look like talking, and Rose says that that was not dancing or whatever.
Yes.
Because the doctor says
dancing,
like it was just talking. Like he even kind of says like we weren't really dancing. Because I think that's why I'm saying like he doesn't get into it. He's thinking like you're saying.
Yes and no.
I feel like we're being so pedantic with each other.
Well, because I feel he avoids attachments.
Sure.
So even if it does look like it's more than talking, and he's like pretending it's only talking.
All right.
He's pretending it is. It might look like it's more, but he goes,
That's
no,
fair.
no, it can't be. It can't be. I'm pulling away. I'm pulling away.
All right. I will give you that because of the fact that like he is this PTSD doctor who's lost his race.
There you go.
So he doesn't want to be connected to them.
He doesn't want to have a connection.
I'll concede that point there as part of why he wouldn't dance.
Especially when he's like an ever-present being that can't that lives for hundreds of years.
Right. Now they explain what the nanogenes are, and they explain that these things are nanobots that repair and fix stuff as they kind of find it, and they're able to repair like Rose's hands because they were all burnt up from the rope. Nancy gets caught while breaking into the bomb base place, so now she's caught. And we get a little bit of backstory about Captain Jack. He says that his memories were stolen by the time agents. He lost 2 years, so I guess like 2 years of his memories have been wiped out or some such.
Right. Exactly.
He wants them back, and he doesn't know what happened. And he even says, like, the doctor doesn't trust him, and for all he knows, he shouldn't trust him, because he doesn't know what he was before he lost those 2 years.
Yeah, like, what happened in those 2 years?
Yeah, so
he doesn't have a clue.
He's a Wolverine mixed with a Superman, mixed with a Captain Jack Sparrow, Captain Kirk. Yeah. Which is fine. It's they're trying to set up this character. I think he's a good character. We'll talk about Boomtown. When we get to Boomtown, I'm like...
That's fine.
I'm like, back it down a little bit there, Captain Jack.
You want to know something? He doesn't.
No, and then he doesn't, yeah.
And he won't.
Yeah, and then he gets annoying, and I'm like, you need to knock it down a couple of notches.
And he won't. He refuses.
So they put Nancy in this room with an infected soldier, and she begs them not to leave her with them because she sees the scar, so she knows that he's going to turn. And she's like, you can lock me up literally anywhere. Just do not leave me in this room. Yeah. I think it's a little unreasonable that they wouldn't do that. She's like, look, I'm not going to... Like, for all they know, like, she's basically telling him, like...
Just take him away. Yeah. I'll stay here.
This guy is sick. You cannot leave me with this sick man. And they're like, oh, Balderdash, you're just some orphan that...
Bullocks.
For some reason was coming into this bomb site We don't know why. Looking for food, perhaps, or whatever. And we're just gonna...
Spy.
Yeah.
I think they think she's
German
a spy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of this happens. She gets locked in with this guy. And they
Makes me very uncomfortable because he does look like he's like sick and
yeah, he looks like he has the flu. Like he
Right.
looks sick, and it's like I don't want to be left alone with this guy. He's gonna puke or something all over me. As the captain or whatever is leaving, they even brush off that he calls them mummy.
yeah, he says mummy.
Yeah, so it's
He
like
goes, what? It's nothing. It's nothing.
yeah, it's like it's happening.
Right.
The guy turns a bit. It's kind of zombie-esque as he begins to turn.
Yeah.
Like
he does.
they're definitely playing off it like it's a zombie virus where he like
Right.
turns that way.
But it's true. It is like a zombie virus. The way that it spreads is definitely zombie virus.
Yeah. It has that same idea. Well, yeah, if he touches you, you turn and then it becomes airborne or whatever, yeah.
Right.
We get an Avenger-esque music of our heroes getting to the yard. The Rose, Jack, and the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Rose sees the guard and she says, well, I should be able to distract the guard. Does her mouth acting. And
Right.
Jack's like, he's gay.
I know that one.
I'll do it. So,
Yeah.
so
He's a friend, if you know what I mean.
yeah. It's just one of Jack's many trollops that he's had over the centuries.
Yeah, just another notch on his belt.
Oh, Jack got along in like the Roman and Greek times. He was having
He
orgies.
loved it. You know he
Yeah.
was there all the time.
Oh, he goes
Time
there.
hopping.
That's like his vacation. Is he's just
Probably
there.
that's all he left in those 2 years was just him having orgies with everybody.
Mhm. I thought, yeah, when he said all, yeah, it was just 2 years. I lost 2 years of orgies. I don't remember anything. So, the doctor's like, he's a 51st century guy. He's a little more flexible with his dancing. So we learn that he is polysexual, I suppose, is what
He
he's
is
saying here.
anything and everything.
He fucks everything.
That's
That is
right.
what the doctor
Anything
is
that'll
saying.
move and give consent.
If it breathes, he's fucking it. I was thinking about some of the creatures we've seen. I was like, yep, he fucked the skin flap.
Oh, 100%.
He fucked that little genie guy.
The tree.
The tree. The tree and him, they did things that are illegal in most states.
One of the Slovene cousins.
Definitely one of the Slitheen, a couple of the Slitheens at the same
That's
time.
right.
He had a threesome with the Slitheens.
Yeah. Yeah. The pig.
The pig?
Yeah, the pig in
Oh
the
yeah,
Slovene
the
episode.
pig. Yeah, definitely the pig. Yep.
Mhm,
Mm-hmm.
The mannequin, the wax. What was it? The plastic.
I don't remember what those were, but yeah, the mannequin
That was
thing.
the first one. It was just made of the plastic, and it was just like the goop monster.
That was an accident though. He thought that was just a sex doll, and then it turned alive. I mean, for all we know,
the butthole monster.
oh, of course the butthole monster.
The big pimple.
So
What else have we seen? Is that it? Yeah.
yeah, a Dalek. I would not put it past Captain Jack to
Ooh, a
have sex with a Dalek.
He would try. He would try.
He would try. Don't think he hasn't tried.
The words distract the guard heading in my general direction.
I don't think that'd be such a good idea.
Don't worry, I can handle it.
I've gotten to know Algie quite well since I've been in town. Trust me, you're not his type. I'll distract him.
Relax. He's a 51st century guy. He's just a bit more flexible when it comes to dancing.
How flexible?
Well, by his time, you lot are spread out across half the galaxy.
Meaning?
So many species, so little time.
So the general guy calls him his mummy, and we see the transformation of the gas mask, which is so bizarre when they try to do
Yeah,
this
it's a
like,
little
CGI
weird.
thing. It's like they're trying to do like a werewolf type transformation, but they can't quite get it right.
Well, because it's like the gas mask comes out of their mouth and then it becomes their face.
Yeah,
And
very
it, like,
odd.
forms from their skin.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
creepy.
odd.
It is creepy.
The doctor tells the other men to stay away because they all like run up to him now, and it
Like to save him or
Yeah.
help him.
they say it's become airborne. Meanwhile, Nancy is keeping the infected all at bay by singing to this guard.
Yes.
Assuming that like she did that with Jamie or whatever.
Right.
The doctor hears her singing, and they come in and they rescue her, and they, like, get her out of there. With the sonic screwdriver, they use it to, like, break the handcuff.
Right, exactly.
They go to the crash site, and Jack insists that it's just a hospital. He's like, see, just a hospital. And he goes to open it, and it sets off an alarm. It crashed, so now it's got, like, some emergency protocols on it.
Exactly. The emergency protocol is probably going off and going nuts. And
Jack's a little brazen. Like, he should have kind of known that was going to happen. But, like, I think he's trying to, like, prove to the doctor that, like, you're wrong, doctor, this is fine, or whatever. And then, like, he fucks it up, I guess, is kind of the idea.
I think it is more of, like, a oh crap moment.
So it alerts all the infected to go to the ambulance because it's still connected, I guess, to this ambulance in a way.
It's all the nanobots. The nanobots came from the ambulance.
So is this when we learn
all
that?
The nanobots are
nanogenes.
connected.
So, like, these nanogenes were in the transporter, and so, like, that was the problem. But, like, is that why they would still go back to this ambulance? Because it thinks, like, it's...
Because it's connected to it. Yeah, because it's trying to help
Oh, you know what?
people.
I think
it's trying to fix them.
I think that
That's the whole point.
The doctor even explains that this was, like, it's an ambulance, but it's a field ambulance ship. So it's
It's like for
wars. So he's saying that, like, yeah, it transforms and it fixes, and then you end up, it turns you into, like, a warrior. Like, it, like, makes you, like, more of, like, a better warrior or something like that. So now they're, like, programmed to go back to the ship.
It's like a quick fix, too.
Yeah.
So I think it's supposed to, like, figure out what are you supposed to be, what are you supposed to have. All right, here, let me fix you. But it couldn't figure it out with Jamie because he was so blown to hell because he got hit by a bomb. It didn't have, like, something
they explain
to work
that.
with.
The doctor says that...
It fused, like, the mask to his face.
The doctor says that it doesn't know what a human is.
Right.
So the only thing that it sees that a human is
was what he
a
looked
face
like.
mask and the scar. So they're like, I guess this is what everything is supposed to be. So it's changing everything to look like Jamie did, but turn him back alive. And the last thing that they could see before he died was he was asking for his mummy. He had the gas mask on. So they're like, okay, this must be what humans are. We'll just make everybody look like this.
Right. So everybody's, like, broken because we have to fix everything. So yeah, it is connected to that field then.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, something's wrong. The emergency thing is going off.
That's an interesting twist that, like, it thinks that it doesn't know what a human is and it's just doing its job. So it's, like, trying to fix it.
It's trying to find a map. Yeah.
Trying to find, like, like what its genes are. And it's like, I guess that this thing just looks like this. So why don't all the...
Right.
You think it would be smart enough to be like, how come this is the only one that looks like this?
It's just working quickly. It's working fast. It's like, I gotta just fix everything I see.
Doctor sends the girls to reattach some of the barbed wire to buy them some time because all of the infected are coming to attack them. And if they can at least stop them from being able to get through the barbed wire for a little bit, they can figure something out. As they're doing this, Nancy asks Rose, like, who are they? And Rose is like, we're time travelers and all this stuff. And Nancy's like, I don't know if I can really believe that. And she's like, well, why not? And she's like, well, it's not the time traveling thing because, you know, gas mask people are trying to kill us. However, you're not German. And then Rose explains, like the doctor did in the first one. So I thought this was kind of a repeat because, like, the doctor already explained to her that they win, but Rose
well, she immediately was like, whatever. She just brushed him off.
True. And I guess it's Rose doing it. So, like, Rose didn't know that the doctor said it. I was just like, we had this same conversation in the first
But she doesn't believe there is a future. She's like, yeah, okay, you're just telling me that we're going to win because everybody keeps saying we're going to win. But how is there a future with this?
Oh,
They're
sure.
bombing us. Everybody's dying.
What's
going to happen that you think that we're going to win?
Yeah. Well, Rose explains that she was born in this city and that they do win. This is when they get the thing open and they say it's a Chula medical transporter. See, there's nothing here. The nanogenes were here. The zombies come in to get them. They're waiting for their commander because they aren't attacking them. They're just all standing at the perimeter, like waiting for orders.
Right.
And they're waiting for the child commander. So here comes Jamie, and he's like, Mommy, 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 as he does. He just wants his mummy. And Nancy says, this is all my fault. And they're surrounded by the gas masks.
That was also explained, is that the nanobots are also trying to find the mother, because that's also going to give it a map of what the child is supposed to look like.
Was that explained?
Yeah, he mentions it. Something like that, yeah.
He
I think
says
maybe it's after he gets hugged, but still.
Yeah, I think it's after he gets hugged. But yes, that is what the explanation ends up being. Yes. This leads the doctor to realize that Nancy is like 21, and it isn't her little brother, but it's her kid. I didn't go back and look at what the age of this actress was. I guess I should have, because I was like, she looks way younger than that if she is
I don't
supposed
think
to be
so.
21.
I always thought she almost looked 20, at least. But yeah, I mean, she probably had him when she was a teen, and then she's trying to make herself look younger.
Well, because the doctor even says it. You're a single teenage mother in 1941, or like
Right.
like you went into
So
hiding.
she's probably like
Like you had to
She's
pretend
probably, like,
this
17,
was
18.
Yeah, like you had to pretend like this was your little brother. Like you would have been hung.
Exactly.
They would have killed you. Okay, let's see. Florence Hoth is the actress.
How old is she now?
She was born in 1984. She was 21 when this episode came out.
I figured she was like
So
20.
she's older. That means that she is older than Rose. She's older than Billie Piper.
Like by a year.
But still, like she looks younger.
I didn't think so. I thought they looked the same age,
All
in
right.
my opinion.
All right. I thought folks at home, let us know.
So you thought she was like 16, 17?
I thought she was younger than Rose. I think Billie Piper.
I mean, they were
looks,
trying to make her look that way.
I think Billie Piper
but-
looks older than 19 too. But I thought that this girl looks younger than Rose.
Oh, okay.
That's just, I don't know.
No, that's fine. They did their job then. They
Yeah,
got
did their
her
job.
to look younger.
So like that's the twist of the episode is that Nancy is not
She's the mother.
sister. She's actually the mummy that Jamie's looking for.
Right.
Do you want to know what I can't remember if it was the writer or if it was what's his name, the producer of Doctor Who that produces everything, Davies. One of them said that there was a deleted scene or a deleted part of the script that explains that the father was in it a little bit as like a voice to Nancy, almost Terminator-esque. That got deleted too. But like,
Interesting.
and then at the end, or at some point, it was revealed that the father was German, which is why this kid's like a little towhead German kid. He looks like a German kid. But they deleted all that. I don't know if any of that would have added to the story. I
don't think it would have added to it.
They
I'm
said
glad
it was
they got
supposed
rid
to
of it,
add to
honestly.
her guilt, but it's like, why would? So she slept with a German and had this kid. Like, why would that have? I guess because he could have been a Nazi. Because it would have
I
been
think
the
most
late
of her
30s.
guilt just came from the fact that she couldn't protect him.
Yeah, like I
I
don't
think that's all the guilt I need to see and hear.
she took care of all of these kids because somebody had to
That's what
take all of these kids.
Right.
Care of all these kids. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm with you. I'm glad that was cut. I think that would have been a bad addition.
been weird.
Just because it wouldn't have
Yeah.
added anything.
Right.
Doctor tells Jack that it's Volcano Day and do what you've got to do, and Jack teleports away. Says like, goodbye to Rose at the same
Yes.
time. Or is it? Does he say that now? Or he says that later? He says that later.
He says it later.
Doctor says you need to tell him to Nancy. Like, you need to tell him that. So, are we to believe then that she has lied to him too? That she's told Jamie that I'm your big sister.
Probably so that he wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
so that he wouldn't accidentally say
You're
something
right.
and
he would call
screw
her,
up the
he
whole
would call her
facade.
mummy at some point. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I mean, at this point, when you guys were like living on the streets because wherever you've been hiding out has been like blown.
She's just doing it so he doesn't get confused.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, like,
she's
at this,
gonna be motherly to him anyways, so he's gonna see her that way anyways. But
it is interesting then that his last words would be for his mummy and not for Nancy, because
True.
he never met his mummy. Then he thinks that they've been orphaned. I'm not trying to like poke the hole in it.
I don't know. I mean, I guess anybody would like if you're scared and all of a sudden like that's happening. I guess that was just a natural reaction to say mummy instead of Nancy. I have no idea.
It's very possible. I don't know. Luckily I've never been in a situation where a bomb is about to fall on me, and I hope I never am. But
I'd never even say that. I don't even want to think about it.
hey, we've been over this. If the end of the world happens, you want to be there right where it's landing, because then you don't even have to worry about anything.
Or as far away as possible.
Or as far away as possible. And nowhere in between. There are two
Nowhere in
options.
between.
So he tells her that the future of the human race is in Nancy's hands. She kind of walks up to Jamie as Jamie's walking up asking for his mummy, and she says, I'm your mummy. And the kid comes to her, he keeps just asking it, and she says, I am your mummy, I'll always be your mummy. And she hugs him. That would have typically, like, transferred the virus, but the nanogenes are smart enough, I guess, to figure out that, oh shit, we were wrong.
This is what a human's supposed to look like.
This is what a human's supposed to be.
They got the map. They got the
So they
piece
figured
that they
out.
needed.
I feel like the doctor could have, like, gotten one of these things and, like, tinkered
I
with
think
it.
that was the plan. He was trying to get into it, but the emergency protocol went off. They couldn't get in
Sure.
to do anything.
Yeah. I guess him and Jack might have been able to. Like, you'd have to keep Rose away.
Right.
And, like, if they were like, look, Rose is human.
Yes.
And, like, try to do that. So the nanobites are fast
21st
enough.
century human, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It works. And the doctor is like, oh, please give me this day. Please give me this day. Just once. And it works.
Just one day. Yeah.
And it changed them. And the doctor is in euphoria. This acting by Christopher Eccleston, I know what he's going for. I guarantee you, and you're probably one of them, Rachel, that really love his, like, ha ha, fantastic. When it works. And I know what he's going for because he's a weird fucking alien. But to me, it was like, I was taken aback a little bit by it. I was almost taken out of it because of the way he reacts to it. I don't know if I can explain. It's just it's so inhuman that it makes it hard to connect to.
Why
the
was
way
that
he
inhuman?
plays it.
He was really hoping that the kid was coming back to life. I don't understand why that's inhuman.
It just doesn't. It feels. And I know this is weird to say, it feels over the top or something to me. I don't know why. It just didn't feel natural.
To pick up the kid and be like, oh my god, you're alive, you're not a monster?
Not to pick up the kid.
Because that's what he does. He does that and he's like, fantastic, this is amazing, I'm so happy that like the people are going to be saved.
Maybe not the moment where
Because he was like, I think he was losing hope at this point.
Maybe not the moment where he picks up the kid, and that would be fine. I don't think I didn't get that he was losing hope. I guess that's what I'm saying. I didn't get that he was in such disarray at this point that it sold the ending. And I get that death follows him around. It's not the boy. That part I get where he like lifts up the boy or whatever. It's more when he like blows so he collects the nanogenes after Jamie is saved, and then he like blows the nanogenes toward all of the gas mask monsters, and they like all turn human. And I think then is when he goes like, aha, really like explodes into euphoria. That I just felt like was a little overdramatic compared to the other things that he's done in the series so far. But the point is that nobody died, and death follows him in like every single one of these adventures. Somebody died.
Yes.
And nobody dies in this one. So he's happy about the fact that like for once death didn't follow him.
You want moves, Rose? I'll give you moves. Everybody lives, Rose. Just this once. Everybody lives.
Right.
So I totally get what they're going for. I'm just saying for me it didn't completely work.
Sure. I guess like knowing the story and the different doctors and their personalities and how they kind of like work, this one always felt like he started a lot darker in a lot darker of a place that was kind of like everything sucks anyways and I just have to deal with all this
It's more
death.
nihilistic. Okay.
Yeah, and then as like these stories progress, he starts becoming a little bit less like that.
Okay.
And a little bit more hopeful. And at this point he's like at a peak of like, no, I'm going to let this happen. I don't want to be like just let them die and just try to fix and stop it. I want them to live, you know, it's so I think he forces it and yeah, it is over the top, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much.
Okay.
But that's where I'm like seeing it.
No, I can appreciate what you're saying. I will have to, if I rewatch these, I'll have to go back and kind of see if I pick up on that, because I agree, like, the whole point of him is that he's kind of nihilistic because of the time war. So I get what you're saying about, like, you see the progression as, like, okay, now he's like, finally I'm getting to get a chance that in one of these damned situations everyone lives. And stuff.
Yes. Right.
Before they can all enjoy this, he asks Jack traps this bomb. The bomb is about to land, and Jack traps it with his ship in like a tractor beam.
With like the beam, yeah.
It's in stasis. And he's like, it's in stasis, it's not going to last very long though. And the doctor asks Jack to get rid of it. And this is when Jack says goodbye. He goes,
right.
Rose.
Because he knows what's going to happen.
Goodbye. And leaves. It's a stilted reading. I don't know why it's stilted.
Is?
If it's because
I don't know why he says it that way.
I wonder
Rose, goodbye.
I wonder if it's because he's on a green screen. He like wasn't on set with them.
Maybe.
But it is so stilted. They should have done another take.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Him saying love the shirt, though, makes up for that a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, of course. Love the shirt.
This is when the doctor then spits the nano genes back at all the people, and they all turn back. Everyone
and better.
And better, yeah. It fixes all of their like ailments and stuff.
Because he says to the doctor, like, you're going to have to do a little bit of explaining that you're like, you've helped these people and we've helped these people. And then the woman goes, well, look, I didn't have a leg, so.
Yeah, and then the doctor's like, well, it's been war. You just possibly miscounted them. So that's the.
Which was actually kind of funny. And he seemed confused by it, too. Like, yeah, I'm just going to let that one go.
Dr. Constantine, that's the name of the old man doctor. Yeah.
Yes.
Doctor tells Rose everybody lives just this once. I put he looks fucking insane because he's just like, everybody lives,
he does look
Rose.
Insane.
Everybody lives! Like a mad scientist.
Yeah, that's about he's a madman with a box. It makes sense.
Dr. Constantine says, we seem to be in an unused railway station, and the doctor goes, cutbacks. So that's his explanation for why they're there.
Yep. Well, he doesn't want to say aliens.
Well,
he doesn't want to say anything about aliens. It's just going to have to be a anomaly.
They detonate the ambulance because they're like, well, this thing was supposed to blow up anyway, this whole like area. So like, who am I to argue with history? And Rose with a good line here says, usually you're the first in line. And then like they go back to the TARDIS. The doctor is beaming like Father Christmas, Rose says. And he goes, who says I'm not? And tells Rose that he got her a bike, which he could have just known that she got a bike one year.
Yeah, I think that was just a good guess.
What's implying.
He's not Christmas. He's just.
Do you want me to tell you something that was supposed to be the next episode of this season and they dropped it? In the original plan, do you know this? The doctor was supposed to be grooming. I'm using that term in the more literal sense. Yeah, not the pejorative way that everyone uses it. Grooming Rose to be the perfect companion.
I would assume, yes.
So he was like watching her. So he literally gave her the bike.
I see. Like, so he went to her past and stuff.
So it's like a leftover line from when they were gonna do that, and then they dropped it. They dropped that like concept that like the doctor's been like behind the scenes like trying to make Rose the perfect companion.
Interesting. Okay, interesting. I see.
I'm glad that they got rid of that too. I wouldn't have liked
it would have been too much for now.
It'd have been kind of creepy.
A little creepy.
Yeah.
Little creepy.
I like it more that it's just happenstance that they came together.
Right. Well, yeah.
I always like happenstance a little more than fate. It always feels more cool.
When it comes to Doctor Who, there's a bit of both, though, because of fixed points and timelines and all of that kind of stuff.
Understood. Yes, but I can give it that.
It's less fate and just more of a fixed point.
Sure. Rose is like, well, what about Jack? And the doctor won't answer because he knows that like Jack knew he was like on a suicide mission.
Yeah, like why did he say goodbye? He's just, I know what he's doing.
Jack is in his ship, which I kind of wish this ship would have lasted, too. They could have had two ships traveling together. Why not? He's asking how long the bomb can be in stasis, and they're like, well, it's not going to be very long. And he's like, okay, well, can we jettison it? And they're like, no, it'll blow up the second you, like, get rid of it in stasis, and it'll take us out, too. Can it go in an escape pod? And then they're like, there is no escape pod. He can't go in an
escape pod.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's like, so I'm going to die. And the ship's like, affirmative. And I thought, couldn't he teleport using his teleporter? He has a teleporter. Why doesn't he just use the teleporter?
I think because it was set to only go back to the ship. So I don't think it was
Oh,
like
it's just
one that
from
would
the
teleport
ship
him
to
anywhere.
yeah,
I think it's
okay.
like wherever he is, he can get back
He
to
can
his
get back
ship.
to the ship. Okay, fine. I believe
That's
you.
my explanation for
That's
it.
good.
So
That's
there.
a good one. He gets a martini knowing that he's going to die, and he accepts it. And he says the last time he was sentenced to death, he got his executioners drunk and fucked them. That's not what he says, but that is what he
But that's
means.
implied.
Yeah. Nice couple, he says.
Oh my god.
The camera backs up like it's going to end. And I thought that's how the episode was going to end, because like
Oh
it's
my
just kind of like
God.
backing up. But then you end up in the TARDIS. The TARDIS attaches itself to the ship or whatever, and then they're there, and he's able to just kind of walk in. And the Doctor and Rose are dancing.
They're dancing.
Rose-
The doctor dances.
Rose is trying to teach him to do it, and he's like, "I'm sure I used to know this stuff." And he welcomes Jack to the TARDIS. Jack says it's much bigger on the inside. And I think the Doctor says, "You better be," which I didn't know if that was a dick joke or a personality joke.
Wait, hold on. I don't know if I missed that. Is it a dick joke? You better be bigger on the inside.
Yeah, that's what he says. And I think it's supposed to be implying more so like, yeah, Rose is making me get you, so you better be better than like your superficial facade that you're putting on.
Probably that.
That's what it's supposed to be.
I like that better.
But it could also be, how big's your dick?
Yeah, that feels about right. This is a very horny episode.
The Doctor turns on Glenn Miller and then embarrassingly starts to dance. And it's so
Isn't it the
embarrassing
Charleston?
and cringy that I could not stand it.
Yeah, I think that's the point, because I think she's like laughing too, and then she's like, "I'm gonna dance," or like Jack wants to dance, or
She asks Jack to dance, and the Doctor says
Yeah, but with
something to the
who?
effect of like, yeah, I'm sure he does want to dance, but with who? Because he's just making fun of him for being gay.
me or her?
Because it's 2005. So it's like, yeah, this big gay over here who wants to dance with me.
I guess that's kind of what it is. But I think he just keeps like
They're making
pushing
gay
down
jokes-
the fact that he will
Yeah.
have sex with anything.
Sure. Yeah, it's more that. He's just making fun of him for his promiscuity.
I mean, the
but
actor is also extremely gay too, so it works
very
out.
gay.
But
yeah, they're making
very gay.
very gay, the gayest. But they're making jokes. They make jokes in the next episode
They
too, like gay
do.
jokes, back and
Do
forth
they?
to each other. Yeah, a little bit.
Oh well.
There's one.
But I feel like that's allowed.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's like. I'm not saying they're like bad or anything. I'm just saying like they're like.
They're funny. That's true. But they're always flirting with the fact that, and you never know, like maybe the Doctor probably swings any which way as well.
He was gonna fuck that tree, Rachel.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's gonna fuck the Slitheen in the next episode. He's getting there.
I guess you're right.
They begin to dance again, the Doctor and Rose. It's awkward and stilted, and there's
And silly.
You can hear the TARDIS metal. They should have probably cut out that sound effect to make it a little more lived in and brought the music out a little more. And I think that the ending
I
would have
guess
worked
so.
better. And if you weren't hearing the
Yeah.
as they
Clink,
walked
yeah.
around, I think that would have worked
Yeah.
better. Like I said, I would have preferred if they would have done a slow dance as they danced to their deaths, but that's just me. And then dance to in celebration. I just wanted a little bit more of that, Rachel, and I think that this moment would have felt a little more earned for me. I know
Okay.
I'm in the minority on this. That's just the way my brain is thinking.
You wanted more of like the nice dancing.
Yeah.
Actually, Doctor, I thought Jack might like this dance.
I'm sure he would, Rose. I'm absolutely certain. But who will?
And that's the end of the episode. It ends with them dancing and goes to our What's Next on Doctor Who. And that is the end of whatever
The Doctor
this...
Dances.
The Doctor Dances. Of course. That's the end of the Doctor Dances. Which I think you're right. They're using it as a euphemism both ways, and then they literally dance at the end of it. So Rachel has come to that time where I will tell you my thoughts on this, and then you can tell me what the professional Dr.
Sure.
Whovians think
Oh,
here.
oh boy, now I feel way too much. On
I
me.
know, because I've looked. People love this episode.
Absolutely.
They love the episode before this, but they love this episode.
They love the connection, both of them together. Yes. The story.
I have to say, and I know I'm going to get shit for it, and that's okay. I can be in the minority. That's fine. I was underwhelmed. I thought the first part was very good. Mm-hmm. I thought this was okay. I thought the first part was way better. I thought this episode was underwhelming. And maybe it was because I just saw people saying that these two are like their favorites or whatever of the Eccleston Doctor, but it didn't hit the beats for me. Now, you've made a lot of good and salient points about this episode, so I might, if I do a rewatch on it, I'll have to go back through and I'll have to see like, okay, I see the progression and I see it. I'm not saying it's a bad episode at all. I can't remember even where I've got it in the rankings right now without the last 3 episodes in it where I put it in the rankings. But compared to what I thought we were going to get because of how the first half started, where it was like actually creepy and serene and stuff like that and eerie, this was a little underwhelming for me. But I think it was still probably good. It just wasn't as good as I was hoping it to be.
Sure. That's fair. But I'm hoping that just noticing that this one had hype didn't also like ruin that for you.
I'm hoping it didn't. And I had to look. I looked. You end up looking at like both of them or like the ratings for both of them because you're trying to find the ratings for The Empty Child after I watched The Empty Child to like be able to prep for that recording. And then you see it and you're like, oh, people even say that this one's like, awe-inspiring. And I was like, okay, so this one was pretty good. That means that the ending of this is going to be really good. And then when I got to it, I was like, it was fine. So I'm sure that had a little bit to do with it too. Like I said, I'll have to rewatch it and see. But anyway, your thoughts. Do you want my
thoughts? And then we both say whether... Oh, I guess we're not talking about this on the shelf, right?
That's right.
We're not doing that with this.
Right.
Okay. I do really like this like full storyline. I do really like it. And I think I explained it a little bit earlier, but it's one of those progressions of the Doctor and seeing his arc and seeing how he's changing and how he's going from, people die all the damn time to... I'm going to save them. And it was a big moment. And that did hit me when I first watched it. I can still feel that watching it again. I still feel that moment. I know it's very over the top, but it's one of those where it's just like, this time everyone gets to live and you kind of feel it. And I like that. And I do love the little monster is just a child and it's just like taking over, and Jack is like charming and kind of fun and a little wacky, and it's one of those where it kind of brings all of the elements of Doctor Who together. Okay. The little creepy, alien, wacky, the Doctor becoming like a bitter piece.
Yeah.
In the world.
I can absolutely respect that.
Being a part of everything.
Yeah, I absolutely can. I can
trying
absolutely
to push him to be better.
Understand that. I can absolutely see where you're coming from. I can absolutely see where, as a fan, you would say like, nope, this is like peak Doctor Who. And you've said it at the beginning of when we started this. Like, this is not my type of sci-fi. This is not my type of genre. No. So I'm like for me right now as we stand, Father's Day was, to me, I was like,
so interesting.
That was peak. But
so interesting to me.
But I
But it makes sense. That was a stronger one. Dalek, very strong.
And Dalek. But I understand if you're a fan of Doctor Who, why this would be a high point of it. For me, I was just like, oh, I expected more. And I'm saying expecting more. More is a bad term. I expected different. I expected something more in my wheelhouse, probably, and I got something different. Fair is fair. We'll see where it ends up at the end of the season. Like I said, I might just have to go back and rewatch them at some point, but we'll see. That was The Doctor Dances. Coming up next, after a break.
Boomtown. I'm sorry.
All right, fine, Rachel. What you do it? Send us to the break.
You do it.
No,
I don't want to do it.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm leaving. You do it. You can do it.
You have to come back. This is a duo. This is a team thing. This isn't a Rachel rant.
Okay.
This isn't a Kevin Says corner, Kevin
Fine.
corner.
Fine.
This is Shelf Life.
Coming up after the break, after word from our fake sponsor, we will get into the next episode of I almost said of South Park. I don't even know why. My brain is gone after all these episodes of Shelf Life, and we've only been doing it for 2 years. Coming up next after the break, the next episode of Doctor Who, which is what, Rachel?
Boomtown.
Yes, Boomtown.
And no, it's not a Western.